Hi friends, welcome back to the studio and welcome to the prep for my biggest market event ever. So the countdown officially starts now. I have to prep so much for my biggest market event ever, which is 9 days long. So a 9-day long Christmas market where I will be selling plushies and candles, and I definitely need to prep quite a lot for that. So we really don't have any time to waste. It's currently Friday afternoon. The market starts on Monday afternoon, so we basically have 3 more days to get everything ready for these 9 days of selling my items. And I've already drawn up a 5-step plan on how I will try and keep organized for this big prep chaos. And I've already started to work on a couple of them, but let me go through them with you guys in order. So the first step is to catch up on my open orders. Honestly, my Etsy has been popping off a little bit, especially my candle Etsy. I have 2 different Etsy shops. If you're new here, I sell my plushies on one and then my candles on the other, because usually the types of people who buy each type of item are very different. So I decided to keep it clean and have 2 different stores. And my candle Etsy has been so popular. First of all, I think just like the season in general is like very candle focused. And then also because my candles come in handmade vessels, which I pour myself, and these are refillable. So once people use up the candle that comes in the vessel originally, they can buy a refill, which is basically just the wax and the wick in the right shape, and you can just pop it in here and keep using your vessel that you got. And quite a lot of people have been doing that lately and ordering some refills for their candles. Like quite a lot of people who bought candles from me at a market have been buying refills online, and that kind of made Etsy push out my store to new customers as well. And I've been getting some orders from all over the country, which is really exciting. So I definitely have quite a lot to do there, which I didn't really plan for when signing up for such a long market event, but I'm not complaining at all. In fact, I'm like super excited to be getting some consistent online orders. And my goal, since it's Friday today, I would really like to pack all of my open orders up either tonight or tomorrow, so I can drop them off at the post office tomorrow and have them go out this weekend so that people can receive their gifts in time. And I have most of the things that I need in stock. I've already picked them out on the shelf, which I will show you in a second. But some of the candles that were ordered on Etsy, I actually don't have any left. So before I start making stock for the market, I actually want to do a little tiny pre-batch for my orders so they can harden out overnight, and I can hopefully already send them out tomorrow, which is perfect timing since Toe Auto sent me over their little 1.5 liter wax melter, and I'm so excited to unbox it. I have it like right here. So this is what it looks like. And I already have a bigger wax melter as well from them, which is like back here. This is like the 5-liter version, but for little stock like what I'm planning to do today, it's perfect to have a little sibling to my current wax melter. So let's get right into the unboxing and into prepping some stock for my online orders. So you also get a little wooden spoon in the box, which is really nice to stir in fragrance oil, because you actually have to stir that for quite a while for it to really like combine with the wax. And then here is the little guy. This is honestly so cute. Like, look at this color, and I'm so excited to try it out for some candles today. This is what it looks like, and the really nice thing about this is you can directly pour from here, so it's perfect for little batches and restocks. So let's not waste any time, get this thing set up and pour some candles for online orders. Okay, so as you saw, that was so simple. I just measured out the wax for 3 big candles, which are the only ones missing for completing my online orders. And while the wax melts over here on my table, I thought I could already kind of tell you my plan for how I want to prep to go for this 9-day event. So as you saw on my table, let me flip you around. So on my table, I have a ton of candle vessels laid out already. So these are all of the candles I want to pour for this 9-day long event. And then if I run out of those, I can always replenish some of them over the course of those 9 days. So I'm honestly not too worried about selling out of candles. I can replenish those easier with all of the tools that I have and always keep a pretty good stock on them. But I'm also only taking those candles in those vessels, as you can see. And then the Christmas trees that I have a couple of other vessels in my shop, but I will not be taking them because at this event, every vendor will only have a 4-foot table to sell their things. And I've already done this market this year. Actually, I was there for 2 days as a vendor at the very beginning of this market. So this market has been going on since the middle of November, but each week they kind of switch out the vendors. And I was there for the first slot, which was only Friday and Saturday, and now I'm there for the last slot, which is slightly longer than a week, so a whole week, and then Monday, Tuesday before Christmas. And the first time around, I was honestly not entirely happy about my setup. I felt like it was very crowded and a little unorganized. So for this time around, I wanted to make a good plan to have it more organized. That is why I decided to really slim down the options for candles, and then also for plushies I kind of did the same thing, that I will not be selling all different types of plushies that I have in my inventory, but I want to focus on my best sellers over the course of all of the markets that I did this year. I have like some very distinct bestsellers that have been performing the best over the course of so many markets. So that is what I really want to focus on for this event. I need to quickly stir the wax because I can already see that it's already melting. So that has been going so quick. So let me do that quickly and then I will talk more about my plan for my plushies. Okay, so for my plushies, I've also decided to very much slim down on the options I have. So I decided on 10 different types of items that I want to display in my booth. 3 of those are mini items, so little plushies I sell for €6 each. And if you've been watching my channel for quite a while, you probably know what those 3 options will be because they have been such bestsellers this whole year. So first of all, of course, we will have Baby Octos, my all-time bestsellers. So I've already planned out what I want to restock, and I'm purposely not holding it up to the camera, so I keep it a little more interesting on what the numbers are that I want to prep. But for those, I actually have quite a lot of them left. I think like over 20. I haven't really checked, but the little bin I display them on is still pretty full. So for now, I only want to prep 10 of them, and then I can keep remaking them over the course of the 9 days once I start to be low on them. And then the second option will be baby whales, which have been pretty popular as well. I only have like 8 or 10 of those left, so I want to restock 20 of them for now, for just having like a full booth at the beginning, and then I can keep making them once I start to sell out of them. And then baby penguins are the third option of mini items. They have been so popular. I literally came home from my last market with only 2 of them left, which means over the course of the other winter markets, I've already sold 48 of them because I prepped 50 for my Christmas markets. So I definitely need to restock so many of those. And I want to make 30 of them for now in the most popular colors to have a good full stock of those again. And while these numbers kind of sound crazy, they are so quick to make. So I'm really hoping to get all of them out over the course of the weekend. I've already started to prep some plushies, I should say, and I should show you as well probably. So let me get into what I've been making already. So from this list, you can already see for mini items, all of the baby whales are prepped. So in this bag, I have 20 of them completed. So I will not be able to show them all to you, but we have lots of different colors, mostly blue tones because they have been selling so well. Lots of different shades of blue, like so. Some variegated, some turquoise, just like 20 of them overall. And then for baby octos, I'm currently sitting at 7 of them prepped, so 3 more left to make. And then baby penguins, I still need to make all 30 of them. And then for slightly bigger items, I decided on 3 different types of animals that I want to have in like the medium price section. So first of all, we have cats. I want to prep 10 of them. I have a couple of them in kind of this stage where I have basically everything done, but I still need to stuff them and then close them up. So I have 6 of them in this stage, which I will need to finish, and then 4 which I will need to completely make from scratch. Then the other type of like medium-sized animals are turtles. I want to make 10 of them. I have 2 currently finished, which I forgot at home, so I can't really show you, but 2 of them are finished, so 8 more left to go, which I will hopefully finish over the course of the weekend. But for these like medium-sized items, I think it's fine if I make only half of them and then work on the other half while the market is going on. And then the third type of medium-sized plushies, of course, will be my stress ball birds. So my penguins, mallards, and chicks. And chicks I have 5 of, and I think that's fine. And then for the mallards and the penguins, I want to prep 5 more of each of those. I still have a couple of each of those left, and then I will continue to work on them over the course of the market once the stock starts to be low. And for all of these medium-sized plushies, I think the good thing is I can start prepping them while I'm at the market, so I can take my yarn and work on parts for them. For the cats and for the penguins, I can basically make the whole body without needing to add the eyes or stuff them. And then for the turtles, I can always prep the fins, the heads, and the shells, and only need to finish them up at home. So I think that is a very good thing, that I can stay productive while I'm at the market, because I think that time will be very necessary to actually work on plushies while I'm at the event. Had to do a quick little wax check. It's almost completely melted, so we're about to be ready for pouring some candles. So let me finish out the types of plushies I want to bring for this market. I also have 2 bigger types of plushies which I would really like to bring for this market, one of which I am already completely finished with. I want to bring my 2 big dogs I have in my inventory. I have this Labrador and I have the Border Collie, which I made a little while ago, and neither of them have sold so far. So I want to bring them kind of as centerpieces for my booth, and also because I really want to sell them off to good homes. And then of course the other bigger type of plushie I want to bring are hoodie bears, because I'm obsessed with making them and I want to keep working on those all the time. So I really want to bring those. I have 1 left in my inventory from my last market where it didn't sell, and this week already I have of course made another one. So this is the other one that I have in my inventory so far, a little frog hoodie bear. And yeah, I'm still so obsessed with them. I started to make the noses in kind of like the hoodie color as well, because I really like the look of that as well. And apart from this one, I also want to make 2 more of those, so that I have 4 of them in my inventory in total for the start of the market. And if I run out of them, I can always make some more of those. And yeah, that is my plan for my inventory with plushies. Still very ambitious, but I think focusing on a couple of different types of items and really like displaying them nicely in my tiny little booth, which I will have for this event, is a good idea. So that's the plan. Let me check on the wax one more time if we can pour my order for today, because that is my big goal, to have all of that finished today. And then tomorrow morning, as I said, I would really want to pack up all of my Etsy orders. I also have a final little custom order that I need to finish up for plushies. So one of my friends from school commissioned me to make her cats in plushie version, and I've already worked on them for quite a while. I actually had to push that order for quite a while, and I'm about to finish them up. I've already finished the 3rd one, which is back at home. It's a completely gray cat, but these 2 are the other ones. So I'm about to finish those up. They have their eyes added. They just need their snout, their tail, and to be stuffed and closed up. And I really want to finish that one up tonight as well. So that is another goal for tonight. I will actually have quite a busy night when I'm thinking about that. But for now, as I said, I will be pouring some candles with my new little melter. And the good thing about that little guy is that you can directly add the fragrance into the pitcher and use it as a pitcher. For this one, I always have to drain it with the little spout in the front and then add the fragrance oil in a completely different pitcher. So one step saved for that one, which is huge for making small little batches. So let me stop talking your ear off and let me actually show you what I do. And now, after we've poured out all of the wax, I can just easily wipe it out like I would with my regular pitcher. And just like that, it's clean and ready for the next little batch once I need another little restock. For example, like in between the 9 market days, if I only need like 1 cent and I only need a couple more candles, I think this will come in so handy. So overall, I really like this cute little new guy, and I will definitely be using it so much in the future for little restocks, Etsy orders, and just refills in general for my candles. I always need just a little wax. And if you're also looking for a new hobby, a new craft to start in 2026, or if you're also a candle maker, check out my description down below. I left a special little link with a discount code for you guys in there. So thank you so much to Auto for sending me this one. I will definitely have so much fun using that one in the future. So my candles are setting now. They will have to chill overnight and yeah, really settle in so we can clean those up tomorrow and pack them up, ship them out. Same with the rest of my orders. And for now, I will actually be heading out. As you can probably tell, it's already getting kind of dark. And for today, we actually have a very important task to complete, which has nothing to do with my small business, but we will be getting a Christmas tree today. Not sure how it is in other countries or in other families, but for us, me and my boyfriend both will not be home for Christmas. Everybody's celebrating with their own families. And that is why we decided to get a Christmas tree kind of early, decorated, and really have a little bit of the whole like Christmas vibe at home. So we will be heading out to get that tree for today and hopefully decorate it as well. But tonight I will definitely be working on some more of my plushies because I definitely have to get quite a lot done for those, especially the 2 little cats for my order. And then hopefully I can also work on some more plushies for my market. For tomorrow, the first thing that I really want to accomplish for market prep, not for sending out my orders, but for market prep, I really want to do a mock setup. I haven't done that in, I think, over a year, but for this tiny little booth, I actually have planned out an idea in my head and I really want to try that out and see if that will work kind of like in real life. So we will be doing a mock setup tomorrow. I'm pretty excited for my vision to come to life and hopefully I will like it and have a good plan for my market. But yeah, for now, I will head out and I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay friends, it's now Saturday. I am back at the studio, as you can tell. It is the afternoon already. This morning I was helping out a friend of mine with moving, so I'm kind of getting a late start to market prepping for the day. Yesterday evening I was super productive though. I ended up pouring all of my candles for the market. I don't think that the ones that I prepped just now will be enough for all 9 days, but they will help me have a good start at this market, and I think they will last at least for like the first couple of days, since I don't think that Monday through Thursday, the first week, will be super busy, since it's only like the evening and it's during the week where quite a lot of people are still working. So I think for at least those first days it will last me. And then I have also prepped all these vessels which already have their wicks added as well, and I can easily pour some more if I need some more and if I run low on some different scents. And yeah, I poured all of them. I will finish them up probably Monday morning. I took the day off on Monday, so I will have all morning to prep for the event in the afternoon. That gives me quite a lot of time then to finish those up, but they're all prepped, they can set now, and I will finish them on Monday. So today the big plan is, first of all, to show you kind of my plan and do kind of like a mock setup. I will not be putting out product or anything. I just want to like set up the bare bones of my vision for this market, show you guys and kind of talk about it. And I've actually kind of prepped that already to the side. And then the other things that I would really like to finish is I finally finished up my custom order for the cats that I was talking about yesterday. So here is the first one, as I said, just a gray cat, and this is what they look like. So quite a lot bigger than my regular cats, with like some special safety eyes, which I don't usually use. And then these are also weighted, so they have some weighted pellets in them. So this is the first one. And then last night I finished up the other two. So here is the second one. So it's kind of like a speckled kitty, and I try to mimic the fur pattern with these as well. It also has like different colored eyes than the first one. So this is the second one. And then here is the third one. So these two are kind of similar, but this one is like a little more brown and this one is like a little more gray in real life. So I tried to mimic that with the colors that I chose. And I used the same cat pattern that I usually use, but I worked with 2 strings at a time. As you can tell from the fur pattern, I used some dark gray and then a beige, and for this one I also used the same dark gray but like a lighter, more grayish beige. So that is what I did for those, and I used a 6mm hook instead of a 4.5 as I usually do. So that is why they kind of like a nice size, and then the weight also makes them pretty chunky. So these 3 will be packed up today so that I can ship them out. I also had my boyfriend drop off all of my packages that had all of the open Etsy orders in them, drop off at the post office this morning because I couldn't be there because I was helping my friend out. So those are all on the way. This is the final order for the Christmas season, I think. At least I don't think I will be getting any more, since I don't guarantee that it will arrive before Christmas by now. So I think this will be the final order, and I really want to pack them up today as well. And then before I show you the mock setup, I also want to work on my baby penguins on this list for today. So as I said, I want to make 30 of those, and last night I started to prep some bodies for them, or like some upper halves for them. So this is what they look like so far. I have 4 completed so far of these upper halves for these little penguins. So at this point I need to attach the lighter yarn and keep working on that, and I prepped 4 of the blue upper halves so far. So still quite a lot to do there. I have a couple of different color variations in mind, which I will go over once we start working on them. But before that, I really want to show you what I've set up to this side of the studio and kind of talk about my vision for my market setup at this market. Okay, so this is kind of the vision that I have for my market setup. I just used one of my own little tables. So this is 1.20 m wide, which is the same size as the table that I will be provided by the organizer, but mine is only 60 centimeters deep, and the one that I will have is 75 centimeters, so quite a little longer still. but this is kind of like the vision I have for the actual setup. So let me actually show you. So this is missing still. I want to have these panels over here like so. And I will of course be standing behind that. So this is the front of the booth that we're looking at currently. As I said, I will not be doing a real MOX setup with all of my product and everything involved. This is where usually, as you can probably tell, my yarn is stored. So it's usually in that shelf over there with the doors. That is how I organize my yarn. And yeah, I just pulled it out to see if I like the setup at all. And behind there, I want to have my cash box, bags, all of that organizational stuff. And then I will have, keep in mind the table is a little wider, so we will have a little more space in front of that as well. And then my vision is to have my candles set up on this side. So I have 3 cubbies where I can set up candles, like 2 cents in every cubby, so 2, 4, 6 in there. And then overall I will have 8 cents at this market, so I can put 2 more down on the table, have a little like informational poster or something up on here. And then on this side I of course want to have my plushies, so I want to have my little baskets where I have my mini plushies in. I will have 3 of them over here. Keep in mind the table is longer, so we will have a little more space. So the 3 of them will go here, and then we have 3 more cubbies for, I think, birds, cats, and turtles. And then these little guys, the little hoodie bears, will like kind of like hang out over here. It's not very stable because I'm missing some of these connectors currently, so this is not very stable. I will need to deconstruct quite a lot of my yarn shelf for the actual setup, but for now this will do. So I will have them kind of like set up somehow like this or something like that. And then of course we will also have the upper parts for these cubbies, and then I can put my 2 big dogs on each of those and have them displayed as an eye catcher up on these 2 kind of like towers, I guess. And that is kind of my vision for my setup. It's very different than the first time I did this market in the middle of November, but I think this is like way more organized. And then at the front of my table, I want to hang up my banner again and have that displayed. I didn't really have a space for that the first time I did this market. And I think like overall this can be like a very structured and organized setup, and I'm honestly so happy with it. Of course I will need to deconstruct like most of my yarn shelf, as I said, so we will have quite a lot of chaos in the studio during that time. But I think this is like so nice. And also like on Monday when I have the time before the market, I want to set up most of this display for before actually heading out to the market. So I'm thinking I can at least build the lowest row and then have 2 of these cubbies kind of like connected already. So at the market I only need to attach like these upper parts to the lowest part and be done very quickly with my setup, because as I said, the table gets provided by the organizer, and having this like mostly set up means I can be set up in like less than half an hour or something like that. So that feels really nice to have that kind of figured out. I know it's like not a really like clean mock setup like a lot of people do, but I think for me this will do. I can see the vision of what I want to do, and I really like that. So I'm hoping that this turns out kind of the way I'm envisioning it right now. But yeah, I really like it. Let me know down in the comments. By the time you're watching this video, I will already be at my super long market. But still, like, do you see the vision in this kind of state? Or is it like really hard to see what I want to do because I didn't really do a mock setup? But yeah, that is the vision. And now let's move on to packing up my final order. I can't wait to have these cats be on their way to their new home. So let's do that.
Everybody knows Christmas is coming. Thank one and all. Time to hang your stockings, baby, and have yourself
Okay, so that feels so good to have my final Christmas order packed up, and these little kitties can now go on their way to their new homes, and I'm so excited for my friend to receive this package. So that feels so great, and now I can put all of my focus into market prepping for my crazy long Christmas market. So that feels also very good. And I'm now really motivated to get the most out of the prep time that I have left. So for now, as I think I mentioned earlier, I want to focus on my baby penguins because I currently have only 2 left, and I want to make 30 of them, as I told you before. And I have already picked out all of the colors that I will be making them in. Before, I had 7 different colors of baby penguins, and 4 of them did super well. 1 did surprisingly well, even though I didn't prep a ton, and 2 didn't do all that great. So for now, I will be mostly focusing on the 4 color combos that did super well, which was first of all the two-toned blue, which I showed you earlier. So this is the first color combo. The second will be purple, two-toned purple. And then we will have 2 different tones of turquoise baby penguins. So this is the darker version. So this will be the top and this will be the body, kind of like this. And then for the lighter version, this will be the top and this will be the bottom. So for all of those 4 color combos, I want to make 7 of them each, which will bring me to 28 in total. And then the final 2 I will make in the green color combination that I had, which is like a very bright green on top and then like an apple green on the bottom. That kind of surprised me. They actually did pretty well as well, but nowhere near those 4 color combos. So that is the plan. I have around an hour left until I have to leave the studio for today, because this is my only weekend and like the whole pre-Christmas time that I have off from doing markets myself. So this evening, my boyfriend and I will head into the city and check out our really big and long holiday market that is going on. And I haven't had the chance to check that out. And I really like the vibe of this market. So that's the plan for tonight, to enjoy a market myself without vending at one. So yeah, that is the plan. That is why I only have an hour left. For now, I think I will focus on making as many of the penguin tops as I can. I have 4 of the blue ones prepped already, but I want to work on as many as I can for now so that I can prep those up tonight once I get back home, and hopefully have a couple of baby penguins to show you tomorrow. Tomorrow is also kind of a crazy day. I'm not sure how much extra studio time I will have, because in the morning we're heading out to get a Christmas tree for my mom, where I will be celebrating Christmas at. So we as a family always go out every year, and we actually like cut down our own Christmas tree. There's like a farm like an hour away from us where you can actually cut your own tree. So that is always like a pre-Christmas tradition that we always do, and that is tomorrow morning. And then in the afternoon, my family and I will be making Christmas cookies. So not sure how much actual prep work is going to get done tomorrow, like while I'm in the studio, but I will hopefully work on quite a lot of plushies as well. And I might check in with you guys tomorrow, or if worst comes to worst, I still have Monday morning all the way through like 2 o'clock or something when I will need to leave for my market. So we still have quite a lot of time there to check in, catch up, and prep the market. So those are the plans for the weekend, and let's keep going with working on baby penguins.
Well, it's getting near December, the air's getting crisper, the leaves are all but gone. Those kids are making less.
Good morning, friends. It's now Monday, which means the day is finally here. It's day 1 of my 9-day long Christmas market. But of course, I still have some prep to do. It's the morning time now. I have the day off of work, which honestly is so needed, because I will need to go and set up for my market at around 1 or 1:30ish. So that is when I'm planning to leave. But this morning I still have quite a lot of prep to do. As I mentioned on Saturday, yesterday, I didn't really get the chance to check in with you guys because I was out of the house for most of the day. I still worked on a couple of plushies, which I will show you in just a little bit. But for now, my first priority is sitting right behind you. I have all of my candles, which I have been setting over the course of the weekend. And now I will need to trim the wicks for most of them and clean up the tops for all of them. So I like to always check and make sure there are no sinkholes or anything around the wicks, which tends to happen with soy wax. So I will basically need to stab all of my candles and kind of reheat the top so that any trapped air can be released. So that is my first goal for today. That is very important. And then I will pack them up for my market before we get into packing the rest of the display, or basically like setting it up. It's still set up the way I showed it to you on Saturday right next to me, which is not the way I want to take it. So we will kind of need to disassemble lots of the yarn shelf behind me and prep the display as well. But for now, my priority is to get these candles finished since I really need to take them today. So let me do that and I will check in with you guys once I'm finished with that. Okay friends, so it's quite a while later now. I have finished up all of my candles, packed them up here. The other half, which is candles, which I've had left over from the last market, is sitting around the corner. So I will be taking 6 of these boxes of candles, and then I've already gone through all of my display pieces and packed everything that I will need up into this box. And now basically my next step will be to clean up all of this mess behind me and set up my table display, which I want to have at my table in a way that will make it way easier to set up for me later on today. So I basically want to put up the bottom row completely and then have 2 separate like towers for the sides, and then at the market I will only have to attach the 2 sides to the bottom row and will be like kind of completed with my bare bones really quickly. So that is my plan. I will set it up and that like take it down in a way that makes it easier to set up later on. And honestly, time is running. It's 12:30 now. I have an hour until I have to leave, and I basically haven't really done any sort of break or haven't eaten anything today. So I'm really trying to not rush this part, but get it over with and have like a half an hour of a break before I have to leave. So setting up my display and packing my car will be the final parts of prep. I did crochet a little more, so of course, as kind of like every week, I didn't get done with my whole list. I have a couple of baby penguins which I finished and a couple of cats which I finished up since I last spoke to you. And then I also made quite a lot of these upper parts for the baby penguins. So I have either finished them or made the upper halves for 28 of them. So I'm hoping that today at the market I can work on some more of those, and then also on these mallard ducks where I have the upper parts made. So that will be the goal for market day one, like my projects that I will be working on. But of course, yeah, this was very ambitious and I don't think I will get anything else done before the market starts. But yeah, that is the plan. So let me do my setup. Okay friends, so this behind me is the final setup. So obviously these two towers are currently not attached. That's why it looks a little wobbly, but I ended up going with opening up the two upper parts. So before, these also had like a back wall to them, but I think in general the tent that I will be set up in is super tiny, so I don't really want to stand behind a wall. So I thought this would be just a little more open and approachable. But the bottom row, I kept the back wall just to make my booth look a little more like cohesive and organized, because I know that behind there is going to be quite a lot of chaos. So the bottom row is completely closed off. This one is obviously closed to the front because behind there I will have my cash box, bags, and all of that stuff. And then we kind of have the same thing on the other side as well. And now with these three parts, I think setup will be super easy because I just basically need to attach the towers from the top, and that is the bare bones of my setup. I also have two clippable lights, which I'm currently charging back at home, that I will clip to this part up here and make them like kind of shine down on my setup. So I think that will look pretty good because the light inside of the tent is very dim. And yeah, overall I'm so happy with how this bare bone setup looks like. And now it's almost 1, and the next thing that I will do is pack up my car, and then I will try and take a little bit of a break before I have to leave for the market. But that also means that the prep for this 9-day long market is now kind of complete. I say kind of because throughout the 9 days I will of course keep prepping for the next day, but the pre-prep before the market starts is now over. So I hope this video was interesting. I know it had a little bit more of a chaotic energy, but honestly that is just the reality of doing a very long Christmas market. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Check out Toe Auto in the description down below, and I will see you guys again next week for another video, which will be the start of the 9-day long Christmas market. So I'm so excited and I hope I'll see you there. So bye!